A very big welcome to you, my dear Virgo. And of course, a big welcome to those zodiac signs that felt like this new moon has a message for them as well. Sometimes we need a message, sometimes we want a message, and sometimes we just want to inspire us. Both the sun and the moon, when we look at it from the perspective of the earth, is now in your sign, my dear Virgo. And you are holding the sun in your lantern, and it moved from Leo out into your card, into your lantern, and now you are the keeper of the light for this whole month. And you are or have been the keeper of light for the whole age of Pisces, because the age of Pisces is opposite of you. And you are holding the star, the age of Aquarius, in your lantern. Because some say it's a star, some say it's the sun. The sun is a dwarf star. And here you understand the six-pointed hexagram, the two triangles that are interlocked to each other, the two triangles that give each other meaning, that give each other power, that give each other creation. And so the yoga position that I did for you is mountain pose. Up on the mountain, you are again realizing that you went through a whole cycle from 0 to 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. And here you are in your own cosmic egg, in your own understanding of the future and the past, is looking at each other, and right in the center is the spine of this newborn king, of this newborn entity that is here already, just like an embryo, just the spine growing in the present moment. And you understand that you are the keeper of the light, and that you are the keeper of the light for the last 2,150 years, because he's looking into the big cycle. And the small cycle is the one that we have 365 days, which is this human life here that we want to understand and learn and grow. You are the Knight of Pentacles. You sit on your beautiful black horse. The dark is the fertile, the feminine. I'm not saying it's the negative, because the word negative has a negative connotation. I'm just saying it's the dark, it's the fertile, it's the receptive. It's that which lets things grow. If your birthday is between August 13 and September 11, this is your court card. If you have another date, look below in my description. I have listed all the court cards, and of course all the cards that I'm using here in this reading. I'm using 22 tarot and oracle cards, and I'm going through the 22 steps. The cards that are not attached to any zodiac signs I read from right to left, and the cards that are connected with a zodiac sign I read from left to right, because it's that small cycle the sun does through the 12 zodiac signs, divided through 12 becomes then a whole month. And so now the month of Virgo is here upon us. And the beautiful thing is you have both the sun and the moon in your sign. You don't have another sign next to you. In your full moon, which is then in your opposite sign, Pisces, you have Pisces there as well, right? And so now it's just you up there in the sun and in the moon. And right now we're in the 0. I made sure that I did the German reading before, so I got into the 0, and now I begin with the 0, and it will again go into the 0.1%. A very important moment, important to meditate. And so coming from the last reading is the message where the sun was in Leo. The eagle's consciousness tells you that the age of Aquarius is here, because you had the eagle and twice you had Aquarius, the star card here. And we can see that something quite empowering has happened to you in the last reading, which is leading you now into this moment. The power of Leo, the power of creativity, a power of strength, leading you forward into now this moment. And so we begin on the position of the Fool. We begin with Temperance, like the Star, who also has 2 cups or 2 pitchers, right? She holds them, but there's nothing flowing. And you begin, as you can see, the Fool begins from right to left. He begins the big circle, the 25,800 circle that the Earth is spinning to the left, divided through 12 creates an age. We have been in the age of Pisces and we're going into the age of Aquarius. So here she stands holding the 2 pitchers, and there's no flowing. There is no visible energy flowing back and forth between these two, between the male and the female, the positive and the negative, right? And remember, negative is not negative, it's just receptive. So the Visconti Sforza Tarot is bringing you something quite interesting to look at. Why is she holding these 2 cups like that if there's nothing coming out? How come that they didn't put a stream in between there? And Aquarius is doing the same thing. He is also using the 2 cups. One he's pouring into the earth and the other one is pouring into the water. And it's very interesting because usually they say here you still think about yourself, giving yourself the energy of this back and forth. And yeah, you gotta look deeper. And that's why you're beginning new to look at these cards and see what it is that is coming up. Now, I did the German reading right before and I did a little mistake, and I used the German deck for the Viloldo, and up came the medicine wheel, the number 35, and then I looked at it and I saw it right away and I was like, oh my god, that's still the German deck, because some of these are English. I use them in the German, and of course whichever one I was able to get in English I have in English. And then I picked a second one, of course, so you get a second one, and look what came up, the 9. So you get the medicine wheel and the hunter. You got the 8 into the 9. So the 8 is here in the opening of these 2 pictures. And the medicine wheel speaks about understanding all 4 directions, understanding all 4 state of consciousness, the snake, the jaguar, the colibri, and the eagle. And then the 9 is coming above the hunter, saying, okay, 27, I'm gonna go and find out, why is there no stream? Why is there no consciousness? Now here is a 5 in there. If I calculate 14 together, I get a 5, so I have 35. And here I have a 27. So it's also important to see how is the card put together, the 1 and the 4, the magician and the emperor. the 3 and the 5, the Empress and the Hierophant, the 2 and the 7, the High Priestess and the Chariot. And the Chariot is the one that says, I'm going to get out there and do what needs to be done. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to go forward. You're going to go deeper, further. And you can see the bear is looking in this direction and he is looking into that direction. He is looking into what's happening here. There is no stream happening here. Because this is the Magician. So the Infinite Eight, that is here the Wheel of Fortune in a way, the medicine wheel, then going into the 9, which is your card. The 9 is the Hermit. It's almost like you want to get out of this infinite wheel of consciousness and you want to step into another dimension. Nevertheless, you are looking into the small circle, the 365 circle, and the bear is looking into the big circle, the 20,800 year circle. And on the position of the High Priestess comes Death, comes the card number 13, which is 1 and a 3. 1 is the Magician, and 3 is the Empress. Death comes and saying, cut off all motor organs, the head, the arms, and the feet. Cut off everything that makes you think you can take action. Become quiet, become centered in that which is your skeleton, in that which he is looking into the big circle. And he's looking at us and he's saying, yes, that's what you got to do. You got to get away from looking at the small circle. You got to get into this circle. You got to think bigger. You got to think like the soul and not like a human being that is hunting for the next catch, for the next idea, for the next something. Because then on the position of the Empress comes the Emperor. Then the Emperor is looking at the skeleton and saying, okay, I got it. And the Empress is looking at us and she's saying, okay, I understood. I gotta change directions. And of course, he's also looking in this direction. He's looking into the small circle. She's looking straight at us. And so the fertility of creativity and saying, I want to create new things, even though I just had to let go of my ego, my hands, my feet, my I want. It's almost like something has cut off that desire to know more, because in a way, come into the center, come into the spine, come into this energy. Get out of your head, get out of your hands, get out of your feet, come into your center between black and white, into the center where the moon is above your head, the moon that is in your sign and the sun that is in the lantern. And then begin fresh to understand. The Emperor is again the number 4, is again the number of arriving in that which you think is important in the 4th dimension, in the dimension of physicality. That's why he sits on a square throne. And here comes the Ace of Swords, the clarity to understand that which you have to do now, that which brings you forward, that which you looked in this direction. And here at least you're looking at us, because the sword is here. You're not looking anymore into the small cycle. You are now looking at us and realizing, yes, or he's looking at you and saying, hey, just keep going the big cycle, because you, Virgo, you know, you've been neglected for 2150 years, because the age of Pisces neglected the true spiritual path. The church created a big event out of it, glorified it, made it something that we look at it and be like, oh my God, this is how it's supposed to look in the outer world. No, he is the one that's in the inner world saying, deep within, it can look however it looks, because you create whatever you create deep within you. And going now from left to right, on the position of the Hierophant comes the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups is Venus in Scorpio, and it's saying that you have hunted and looked for things that you cannot get in this dimension, because there's a 7 as well. You have hunted for things that in this dimension cannot be found. You gotta go the other way. You gotta go the other path. And the clarity of the sword, that one thought, made you realize that this emotional energy that is making you think you can get things, you can manifest things, if you just put your mind to it, if you just put your focus on it, you can get whatever it is you want. And that's what's being preached in the Hierophant energy, Taurus, right? This is Aries, Taurus. In the preaching of that, they preach us all these riches and these things that we think are important. They are not important. You understand really what it's all about, and so see the illusionary success and start working on yourself, which is the 8 of Pentacles, which is the Sun in Virgo. And so now you got on the position of the Lovers, of the self-love, an understanding of the cycle of the moon and the sun, and understands that there are small circles and big circles, and either way you can learn whatever it is you want to learn and step out of the 7 and get into the infinite 8, because the infinite 8 is above the head of the magician. And that infinite 8 is where the crossing is. That's why the crossing is very important in some of these pictures, because the crossing is saying spirit and matter, time and space. That's where you want to be. And the crossing is also the fact that you know the crossing is here at the heart. Jesus on the cross. It's the heart. You have 3 chakras above and you have 3 chakras below. And here you are in the infinite 8 in your card, the Sun in Virgo, a self-love of what you do, the work you do. Keep working, becoming a master in what you're doing. You look over to this energy and say, no, this is not what I want, because you're getting the 8 of Pentacles one more time. Like a tree, it's reaching up. Like a tree, it's talking to you. Start your success, grow your success in an equilibrium in the 8 with the 7. And the 7, again, we know was here. That success, any success that we think we have, is illusionary. No matter what we do in the spiritual path, yes, it is helping us to understand, but deep down the soul knows that any success where we grow in the center, right here we have the phases of the moon, and here we have 4 and 4 in balance, in a clear understanding that yes, you are that master. You are the master that has understood the 8 and has gone into the 9. You got yourself out of that because you show that on the position of the magician, that you were in the 8 and you were manifesting and you wanted to create things, but then you go into the 9. And in the 9, you are hunting for the big circle. You're hunting now for that which you think does make much more sense. And so here with the 8, you have 3 times already the 8. 8, 8, 8. Now the interesting thing here is that with this cards, the Oswald Wirth card, were used in the Kabbalistic Rose Cross order that was formed in France 1888. And the Hermetic Tarot was used in the Order of the Golden Dawn that was formed 1888 in England. 1888. And we know 1 is the Magician and 8 is the Star. 8 is the Age of Aquarius. 8 is what is above of the Magician, the infinite spiral. The 8 is a very important number. Nevertheless, the Age of Aquarius is the card number 17, the 1 and the 7. 1 is the Magician and 7 is, like I said, the success, the illusionary success that we think we need and we want, and that through that we can establish whatever we want to establish. But it's not like that, right? It doesn't work like that. So then on the position of Leo, in the last reading, the Eagle's consciousness tells you that the Age of Aquarius is here comes the Queen of Air. And she has wings in her head. She has the owl. She sees at night. She understands the dark, even though she is in the light. And she also understands that infinite symbol above the head of the Leo. She understands that something's gotta shift, something's gotta change in the way we perceive things, in the way we see the sword, in the way we see, the way we think about things. And she's inviting you to get the strength to be in this one sword, right? Leo is inviting you to get the strength to get into the crossing, to not be in the right and in the left, to get into the center. And in the center we are in our third eye, which is right here, right? And the owl is looking at us and saying, yeah, the Libra energy, the equilibrium, the preciseness, not the justice. Libra is justice, I know, but no one can be just. No one can really truly be just. Nature is not just, so how can we, that we are part of nature, think that we are just? We are learning. We are here to forgive. We are here to understand and to grow. Because on your position comes the 4 of Cups, and that's Moon in Cancer. And Moon in Cancer here, Salvador Dali is speaking about the fact that you getting another cup, another chance again and again. We get a chance again and again. And that you have learned to grow like a tree. Then you, if you become the tree, then you are becoming the roots. Then you are understanding that these 3 cups below here, yes, you have those, but a little hand is saying, look up. Because you are kind of sad that you're not having this cup, but it's always there. You just need to look up. And you think, wow, these three cups, that's important because the 3 is connected with the Empress, and on the position of the Empress is the Emperor, so here comes a 4-4 portal. And the 4-4 portal is the illusion of material world, the square, the 4, the stability that this earth is giving us. But remember, needing to also understand that this is just a temporary moment. We go back into the other cycle when we die, and right now we're just living this small cycle from left to right, 365 days. And if you listen, if you know you are the tree, then you can also then, on the position of the Wheel of Fortune, then you can look up and then you can see that everything is shifting and changing. Here's the butterfly. Then you are in the butterfly garden, the number 48, which is a 12. All 12 zodiac signs are connected with the Wheel of Fortune. So again, this is a card that is outside of the 12 zodiac signs. And if I put you now here, I can put you here and I can put you here, depending what? Depending yourself. You have the choice to say, okay, I'm going to go in this cycle, which means in a way it looks like, yes, you're going in the cycle because you're looking in this direction. But if I place you here, then you are coming from the big cycle and just kind of looking at yourself, how you liberated yourself, how you freed yourself through the Wheel of Fortune, through the Wheel of Karma. You got out of karma because you didn't want to be in this karmic energy anymore. You stepped out and you said, okay, I'm going to liberate myself, truly liberate myself. And then when you do that, then you can go back into the normal cycle and live the normal life here again like everybody else. On the position of the Libra, the preciseness, not the justice, comes the 7 of Cups again, but this time reverse. So you maybe are looking, since you made this transformation, at this in a different way and start to understand, okay, the Wheel of Fortune at one point were the cups upright, and now the Wheel of Fortune has turned and now they are the other way. I let go of the illusion. You truly let go of the illusion. You don't want that anymore. You don't want illusionary success. You just want that one success, the one and only, which is the one that is in the center. And you know that that's the only place where you really understand truthfully that life comes from the heart, comes from an understanding that what I feel here, where the crossing is, this is the only way for me to move forward, because she's holding also this plant to her heart and let things grow. Because then on the position of the Hanged Man comes this crystal, because when we let go of Venus in Scorpio, remember that was Venus in Scorpio, then here comes this crystal, the chrysocoll, the number 13, which is then connecting you back to the High Priestess. Letting go, deep letting go of things that don't work anymore. Like I said, of things that you want to understand that there is an order, there is a law, in its own strange way, because the sun and the moon, they do all their circle all the time. Nothing changes. And here it says, speak your truth, authentic communication, and right speech. And so when you let go of all these emotional attachments that you were somehow holding on here in Taurus, in the Hierophant, in the Taurus energy, in the institutional energies, banks and laws and all these, like, you know, places where we sometimes feel like, oh my God, I mean, this is like churches, right? Like a long time where we have the knowledge brought from family to family, from institution to institution. You're letting that go. You're letting that go because it's time to let that go by speaking the truth. And you see the color here, the blue. Blue is clarity. Blue is the sky. And red is the wisdom to understand that. And after Libra comes, on the position of Scorpio, Leo. The creativity, the sexuality that is happening here and opening up to the snake, to the power of Leo. And on the position of Leo, you had this beautiful lady, the Queen of Swords. And you understand that the snake going up through the spine, that the spine that we spoke about is the only energy that you want to keep. That's where you want to be, working through your spine. And the spine also makes an S movement. And that the power in releasing yourself, and you see how death is going into the small cycle, releasing yourself, letting go into something that you sometimes maybe don't even have power over, because that's what the creative sexual energy does. The creative spark, the sexual energy, is the most difficult energy to control. Even the biggest gurus have lost it, right? Because of their sexual energy, of that desire to letting go, la petite mort, right? The sexual energy of the orgasm, the enlightenment that we also get through that. And that's also an illusion. We're using that sexual energy to go through the spine up into the enlightenment, into our head. And on the position of Temperance comes the Queen of Pentacles, the power place of the stones. And then you spread your wings like Sagittarius is here. And you can see now, here it's flowing. Here you see the energy exchange between receiving and giving. Here you couldn't. And it's almost like something, you had to start this path now where you are alone with yourself up in the mountain, sun and moon in your sign, to really feel this, to really feel the spine in the center. The spine, right? Remember the spine. And the spine, the snake, the spine. Feel the center. And know that now you have understood something. Now you've gone through this circle and learned clearly that if you are here for others, if you are learning to look, she's looking at the Queen of Pentacles, Capricorn, where she knows that in a way we have the power to collect and be safe, because we have the guardian angel that is looking after us all the time. And the guardian angel is saying, now you can go out into the young generation of all 3 earth signs, Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus, because you have here the Princess of Pentacles. And the Princess of Pentacles is all the young generations of the earth signs. And you have that on the position here of Capricorn, the devil, the attachment, looking at the young generation that is attached because they're in a new cycle, they're in a young, fresh new cycle of looking at, creating and manifesting and needing to have a house and needing to have food and needing to survive. All these things attach us, and now you see how you want to detach yourself from that. Because then on the position of the Tower, which is a true letting go, the Tower is saying let go of your crown, letting go of things that you think you know, comes the Turtle, comes the wise old soul speaking to you and saying, look deeper, look deep within, look at the parts of you that you think, right, is difficult to look at because you're an ancient soul, you're grounded, you're trusting and at home in the self. And this is when you're peaceful, adventurous, and productive. So the Tower is releasing that out of you. And remember always with the Tower, right? The one that holds the crown on its head is the one that falls as well, but he's falling quite consciously. The one that has the crown, the one that has the understanding of that infinite aid above, will fall too, but he will fall differently. And you fall into the Turtle, into that part that you understand that you are an ancient soul, that you are the shadow side of the age of Pisces, and now you're coming out here as the Turtle. And then the age of Aquarius is here, uplifting you, bringing you up into the 8 portal. This is the 17, which is an 8, and this is an 8. The 8 is here now 1, 2, 3, 4 times, 5 times. Oh my God, yeah, 5 times the 8. I'm going to show them to you in a minute. So Mercury in Sagittarius is then uplifting you. Sagittarius, where we had here the stability, you know that you're stable and now you want to lift up again. You have learned in the age of Pisces to be stable. It's something that's innate to you, to have a home and to have the money and to be safe and secure. But something is saying you gotta fly as well. Yeah? And so here you are flying into the age of Aquarius. But this is not the age of Aquarius right now. This is just a small cycle from left to right. So here you are wanting to uplift. And again, I show you all the 8s that you have. And I place them now from the right to left. Five times 8. The medicine wheel in German. Then the Sun in Virgo, and again the Sun in Virgo, Leo, and the 8 of Wands. So if you understand, if you learn, if you continue mastering yourself, you're going to be using your sexual energy in a way that you're uplifting, that you are flying. And that's the message, right? In a way, it's almost like this is already the message. And yes, you are hunting for that. Just remember, don't hunt in an unconscious way. Don't hunt in this direction. Become like an animal, become like a bear, go in this direction. And so, Aquarius, we go then into Moon, Pisces, and the Moon is in your sign, and so here comes the horned cactus, the resourcefulness. Now the resourcefulness is very interesting. It's almost like this. It's like Capricorn. It's like knowing deep within, because it's connected with this beautiful angel, right? Sagittarius, knowing deep within that if this spiritual knowledge that you are working on, that you keep growing within, is giving you always something to eat, even in a land where there's barely anything to eat. And that's usually what the cactus is. It's like the cactus is here who holds the water. And anywhere we can get food, even in a land that's barren and that barely has anything to eat. And so here the Pisces energy, the last card in the circle from left to right, is saying, yeah, you will know and understand the resourcefulness that you have deep within. And now reading it the other way, from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius, it's saying, well, now you know you have that resourcefulness. The other way around works as well. Now you can fly into the age of Aquarius. Now you can uplift, because you have understood something here. And also, when you take the small circle, in the small circle you learned, you studied, you uplifted yourself, you learned everything that you could learn. And you're up there and you're holding the star above you, the 8-8 portal here. And because of that, you will always know deep down that you always have something to eat, that you always are protected with the 29, which is an 11. And 11 is a portal, a 1-1 portal, which creates now with this one, a 3 times 1 portal. The power to know that you're protected, the power to know in your mind clearly that you always have something to eat, that you're always taken care of here, so that you can uplift, right? So that you can go totally into the age of Aquarius. Lifting yourself up, knowing that this age is upon you. And then it is the moon that brings you into the sun. It is the dark sides that makes you grow into the sun. It is the moon that says, okay, in this resourcefulness, and now that the sun is bringing me 23, the storms and the cleansing. And we did have a storm yesterday. It was raining and pouring, and it was so good, because we had hot days here and no water, and the plants are suffering. And yesterday it was just like this. And that's what happened now to your new moon, that the sun, then in that darkness, we know where the sun is. The sun is still there, even though there's clouds. She's still here, up there. And she's looking up and she's saying, yeah, I understand that. I understand, because the moon gave me that insight, and it's the moon that it's the portal into the sun. And now you have sun and moon both in your sign, so the portal is open for you to receive that information in your meditation, planting a seed so that it can grow, and you're holding that in your hands. You're holding that very strong in your understanding, in your beliefs, so that then when you awaken fresh in the new cycle, because the sun is the star in your lantern, it's your turn right now to be the light. It's your turn to shine the light. And then here comes the wake-up call, then you awaken, then you are clearly sitting here in a time where it says counsel. Seek out the counsel of those whose lives and creative work you most admire. Then comes the number 22. And it's almost saying, yeah, 11. Then here is the number 5 and the 22. So you're jumping from 11 into 22. And 22 is a master number. And 22 is the 0. We have 22 major arcanas. We have here the Fool, right? And on the position of the Fool, we have an understanding that this is just an energetic exchange. We don't need to draw in the water that's going from one cup into another. And so you're learning to understand in this counsel that seek out the counsel of those whose lives and creative work you most admire, and learn from them the most. Learn the lessons, learn that the water is here to deceive you, make you think it's important. Here the water makes you emotional, dependent, but the water, the emotions, the true love, the true emotions is always here. Here the water has come down, pouring down, and you let go of the thinking that there is a justice out there, there is preciseness, and now think about how much you can be precise, and you realize no one can be 100% precise. And so you're sitting here with ancient ones and start to exchange yourself, because now you're back in the big circle. You're back in the big circle. You nourished yourself in the age of Pisces. You learned everything there was to learn in the age of Pisces, which is your opposite energy. It's your shadow side. So then that you can uplift into the age of Aquarius, looking up, even though you're physically in this direction, but you're looking at us and saying, yep, I know how it is. I go above the clouds. I go above the lessons. I don't want to be in the lessons. I go above the lessons, and then I speak with someone about it that is dear to me. I speak with someone about it that is like me, wanting to grow, spiritually awaken. Because then comes the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, which is then, of course, the Wheel of Fortune. We had here the butterfly. We had here the awakening. And in the Muse Tarot, there is no negative connotation to it. It's just saying, yeah, you just spun, or were spinning in such a way, which is good that you were spinning in such a way, because you did let go of this. You let go of the 7 of Cups, an emotional illusion that we think certain emotions here are important, and I need them, and I want them, and it's all I can think about. And when you share that with someone that also goes this path, maybe with a Libra, because I'm looking at the court cards, maybe with a Capricorn, and maybe with the young generation of all the earth signs. And then on a spiritual level, you can exchange yourself with a Sagittarius, Scorpio, Aries, Leo, so know that on the position of the world, the 21, the 3 comes. Everything is spinning, everything is changing, nothing stays the same. Comes the world looking at the new beginning, and here we have the world looking and dancing, spinning and whirling and enjoying herself, and seeing, yeah, I began to realize something profound, that it's all within me, the knowledge is within me. I have two wands in my hand, the dark one and the light one. I have two cups in my hands. It doesn't matter what you have in your hand. It matters that what you do with it. It doesn't matter what or how much more information you get. It matters what you do with it. So what are you going to do with this knowledge that is spinning and spinning and spinning? It doesn't matter if it's upright. It doesn't matter if it's the other way around. It keeps spinning, and you keep sharing that with someone that is important to you, because you want to know things, you're curious, you want to understand the spiritual value of a lot of things, and you will understand that this is just the way it is. It's okay. I can leave it like that. I don't need to search and look further. I just know that everything comes and goes, and I have others, like-minded, spirited people with whom I can exchange myself and counsel myself and realize that their lives are equally difficult to live through. But if I exchange myself with them, I understand, yes, it's all coming back. It's all making sense at one point or another, because on the card number 0 or 22 is Temperance, is the guardian angel, is here the angel that is now having the water pouring forward and back, and you don't need to see it, you just have to understand and feel it. And that's what this is all about, because everything comes once you see it and once you don't see it. Once you see it and once you don't see it. That's it. Wow, what a beautiful, powerful message. I wish you a beautiful meditation with this, and plant your seed. You have the whole month to plant your seed. I think now it's 0.1% again, going to full moon. And I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.